After a 7-hour spinal surgery, I opened my eyes to dozens of missed calls. I found out my family had taken advantage of my unconscious state and sold my $5 million home without my permission. They thought I was weak, but they forgot that I still had one final move left. Did you think I was unconscious so you could forge my signature? I looked at the papers in my brother's hand and said those words. He went silent. My mother-in-law looked away, and my husband realized for the first time that the woman they thought was powerless was only quiet. She was never unaware. After my 7-hour spinal surgery, when I opened my eyes, there were dozens of missed calls on my phone. At first, I thought my family was worried about my health. But when I returned the first call, I learned that during those 7 hours, they had made the biggest decision of my life without asking me. They had sold my $5 million home, and they believed there was nothing I could do about it. My name is Emily Reed. I am 38 years old, and I lived in a peaceful coastal area of California. That house was not just a property to me, it was 10 years of my hard work. I bought it with my own money, no inheritance, no family help, just my own effort. But my family always acted like my success was just luck. My husband, Mark, was 41 years old. We had been married for 9 years. At the beginning, he was different. He supported me. He used to say, "Emily, you built your life yourself. I'm proud of you." But over time, things started changing. Mark's mother, Linda, became more involved in our lives. She always believed she should be the one making decisions. She often said, "A house is just a thing, Emily. Family is what really matters." I would smile, but I understood what she meant. She liked my house a lot. She would often say in front of guests, "It would be wonderful if this house stayed in our family." Every time, I brushed it off as a joke. I didn't know she was serious. 2 weeks before my surgery, my doctor told me my spinal condition had gotten worse. Surgery was necessary. I was scared, but I tried to stay strong. Mark came with me to the hospital. He held my hand and said, "Everything will be okay." I looked into his eyes. I believed him. On the morning of my surgery, I arrived at the hospital. The nurses came in, the paperwork was completed, and Mark sat beside me. Before they took me into surgery, he said, "I'll be here when you come out." I smiled. Okay. Then they gave me anesthesia, and everything went dark. When I opened my eyes, the room was dimly lit. My back was in intense pain. The nurse told me the surgery was successful, and I finally relaxed. Then I checked my phone, 47 missed calls, 12 voicemails. I was confused. Most of the calls were from Mark. I called him immediately. He answered after a few seconds. "Emily." His voice sounded strange. "What happened?" He stayed quiet. I asked, "Mark, is everything okay?" Something felt wrong. Then he said, "We need to talk." "About what?" He replied, "About the house." I closed my eyes. "What do you mean?" After a few seconds of silence, he said, "We sold the house." I didn't say anything. I thought I had heard him wrong. "What did you say?" He replied, "Emily, listen. It happened because we needed to." I slowly asked, "You sold my house?" He said, "Our house." That one word was enough. "No, Mark, it was my house." He became quiet. I asked, "When did you do this?" He answered, "Today." I laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. The same day I was in surgery for 7 hours. He didn't answer. Then he said, "We thought you would understand later." I ended the call. At that moment, everything became clear. This was not just about selling a house. This was planned. After leaving the hospital, I went to stay with a friend. I was still struggling to walk properly, but one thing was clear in my mind: I needed to know the truth. I contacted my attorney, James Cole. He had been my legal advisor for years. I told him my house was sold without my permission. He immediately asked, "Did you sign any documents?" I said, "No, I was in surgery." The next day, James reviewed all the documents. Then he told me something that changed everything. "Emily, this sale was not legally completed." I asked why. He showed me the paperwork. "Because the signature used here looks suspicious." I became silent. "Are you saying they forged my signature?" James slowly replied, "It appears that way." I didn't feel angry anymore. I felt strangely calm. But now I had proof. For the next 2 weeks, I stayed quiet. I didn't create a scene. I didn't call Mark. I didn't argue with Linda. I simply collected evidence. Then one day, I went to their house. Mark opened the door. He looked shocked when he saw me. "Emily, what are you doing here?" I said, "I came to talk." Linda came outside too. He said, "You should be resting." I looked at her. "I should be resting, but somehow both of you found time to prepare documents for selling my house." Mark's expression changed. "Emily, don't make this bigger than it is." I took out the file. "You thought that because I was in the hospital, you had your chance." Linda said, "We only did what was best for the family." I looked at her. "Family?" I laughed. "Family is supposed to stand beside you when you are sick, not sell your home while you are unconscious." Mark stayed silent. I placed the file in front of him. "This is a legal notice." His hand started shaking. "Are you really going to do this?" I looked at him. "No, you already did this." A few weeks later, the truth came out. The sale was stopped, and an investigation into the fake documents began. I discovered that Mark and Linda had already planned how they would use the money from the house. They wanted to buy another property under their own names, without me. That hurt more than anything else, because the problem was never the house. The problem was that they didn't see me as a partner in their lives. They saw me as something they could use. Over the next few months, my health improved. I stepped back into my home again, the same place, the same rooms, but everything felt different. Mark tried to apologize many times. He said, "I was wrong." I replied, "Yes, you were." He asked, "Can't we start over?" I looked at him. "Some things can be repaired after they break, Mark, but trust is not one of them." We got divorced. Linda also tried contacting me several times, but I kept my distance. Today, 1 year has passed. My house is still mine. My health is better than before. And I learned one thing: sometimes people mistake your silence for weakness, but staying quiet and giving up are not the same thing. Mark and Linda thought those 7 hours of unconsciousness would make me powerless. They thought they could make the biggest decision of my life without me. But they forgot one thing: I built that house myself. And a woman who has spent her entire life standing on her own feet is not easy to bring down. Thank you for staying with Emily's story until the end. If this story touched you, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe for more powerful and emotional stories. Your support means a lot and helps us continue sharing inspiring journeys of strength, resilience, and unexpected twists. Thank you for watching.